If God is your shepherd, lack has no legal right to your life. I am not saying this to sound bold. I am saying it because this is how the law of divine supply works. A shepherd does not guess about grass and water. He leads, provides, guards, and settles his flock so they rest. That is what Psalm 23 claims in plain words. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This is not poetry to frame and forget. It is a contract to stand on. When I say law, I am not talking about courtrooms and robes. I mean the way a thing is made to work. Gravity is a law. You let go, it falls. Divine supply is a law. You align, you are provided. And the first clause of this law is simple enough for a child to understand. God is the source. Jobs, clients, markets, and people are only channels. Mix those two up and you teach your mind to panic. Keep them straight and you train your life to receive. Think of a spring and a faucet. The spring is underground, full and steady. The faucet is on the wall. If a faucet breaks, the spring does not dry up. You fix the faucet or you use another one, but you do not cry over the wall and say, "The water is gone forever." The water was never in the wall. In the same way, money is not inside your job. Provision is not inside a client. Help is not inside a market. Those are just pipes. God is the spring. This is why fear grows when a channel shakes, because you called the pipe source. When you correct your words, you correct your world. Say it clean. God is my source. Channels come and go. Supply remains. I have watched people speak lack like a habit. They check a bill and say, "I'm finished." They hear news and say, "We will not make it." They confess worry to feel real. But law does not honor worry. Law honors voice. The law of divine supply records your decree, not your dread. When you speak as if the pipe is the spring, you shut your own valve. When you speak as if the spring is the spring, new valves appear. It is not magic, it is order. The mind follows the mouth, the body follows the mind, and the circumstances fall in line with both. This is why the shepherd begins with identity. I am your shepherd. When you accept that, I shall not want is not a wish, it is a conclusion. Let us keep this so simple a 10-year-old can hold it. A shepherd takes care of sheep. Sheep do not wrestle wolves or map rivers. They follow the voice that knows where the grass is. If a lamb tries to be its own shepherd, it fears everything. If a child tries to be its own source, it fears every price tag. But when the child remembers, my Father owns the field, the shoulders drop, the breath returns, and the thinking clears. Do you see why peace comes before plan? You think better in stillness. You choose wiser in rest. The shepherd first settles the sheep, then the sheep eat. Now hear the Florence language of it. The law works by decree. A decree is not begging. A decree is a clean sentence that agrees with truth. Divine substance fills this need now, under grace and in perfect ways. That is not a wish. That is a switch. You do not say it 20 times to bully the law. You say it once to place the order, and you hold your peace so the order can ship. If fear tries to climb back on your chest, you do not fight fear. You speak law again, and you cast the burden. I cast this weight to the Christ within. I go free. The burden is the anxious pushing. Release it. Then move in right action. Speak, seal, and step. Right action matters. Some think faith means sitting on the couch and looking holy. That is not faith. That is delay. Faith is motion that matches the decree. If you said, God is my source, walk like your steps can meet new channels. Send the application with a calm spirit. Return the call without the tremble. Price your work with dignity, not apology. Pay what you owe as an act of honor, even if you can only pay in parts. Honor opens doors that panic cannot find. Do not confuse quiet with passive. Quiet is focus. Quiet hears the next instruction. Quiet is the shepherd's path where good things grow. I want you to notice how fear tries to trade places with God. It says, if the market drops, you drop. If they say no, your life is no. If that door closes, your story ends. But you are not a door's child. You are God's child. Doors are furniture in God's house. He opens some, He shuts some, and He builds new ones when needed. When a door shuts, you do not mourn as if God moved out. You praise as if a better hallway is being built, because that is usually what is happening. Praise is not noise. Praise is proof. Praise says, I trust the spring. And the spring, being the spring, keeps flowing. Let me talk about stewardship so a young mind can understand it. Stewardship is caring for what is in your hand, like it came from God, because it did. If you toss bread on the floor, you say to your own life, I do not respect supply. When you respect supply, supply respects you. You count what you have, not to fear, but to aim. You set a simple plan, save a little, give a little, spend wisely, and invest as you learn. If a leak appears, subscriptions you do not use, snacks you do not need, you patch it with joy, not shame. Shame says you are bad. Wisdom says you just needed light. The shepherd gives light. Keep walking. Some ask, but what if I truly do not have enough? Listen to me. I shall not want does not mean I get every toy today. It means I do not lack what is required to take the next right step in the path God is leading. Sometimes the next right step is courage. Sometimes it is a phone call. Sometimes it is an idea at 5 a.m. Sometimes it is help from a friend. Often it is a seed, a small gift given in faith that breaks the crust of fear in your own heart. The world says, hold everything. Survival mode. The law of circulation says, let the river move. When you give by guidance, never by guilt, you tell your own soul, I live in flow, not in freeze. Flow finds more flow, a word about words. Children learn by echo. If the adults in a house talk lack all day, the child learns fear like a language. Break that. Make your home a school of clean speech, not fake hype, not noisy affirmations that tire the jaw, but 2 or 3 sentences that align with law. In the morning, God is my source. I am led to right action today, under grace and imperfect ways. Before a bill, divine substance meets this in full. No delay, no drama, only order. After a no, that no protects me from what is not mine. My yes is already prepared. This is not superstition. This is training. You are training your own mind to sit by still water. Do not argue with fear. It loves debates. Fear is a loud actor that hates quiet rooms. When fear performs, you exit the theater. You do not boo. You do not clap. You simply leave the play. How? By attention. Put your attention back on the shepherd. Say, I am not the source. I am the steward. I am not the supply. I am the receiver. I am not the beggar. I am the heir. Then ask the one question that never fails. What is my next right step? The answer will be simple. Make the call, close the tab, send the invoice, learn the skill, rest for an hour, walk around the block. Forgive the debt you keep rehearsing in your head. Simple steps move mountains when the shepherd paces them. Let me be plain about channels. A channel is any route supply takes to reach you. It can be a job, a customer, a sale, a gift, a refund, an idea that trims a cost, a partner who carries half the load, or favor that shortens a process. If one channel narrows, another can open. You do not force it, you face it. Face the facts without fear. Facts are not enemies. Panic is. If numbers say change your plan, then change your plan and keep your peace. Peace is the engine. People try to move money with worry. Worry is heavy. It bends the road. Peace is light. It clears the lane. When peace is in the driver's seat, the car actually goes where you turn the wheel. A story for a child. A little girl keeps a seed in a drawer and prays for a tree. She talks to the seed, cries over the seed, sings to the seed, but never plants it. A seed is not shaped for the drawer. It is shaped for the soil. Words are seeds. You plant them with your mouth and you water them with your steps. Speak once like a gardener, not like a beggar. Plant the sentence, then water it with right action. Sunlight is praise. Soil is patience. You do not dig the ground every hour to see if the seed is trying hard. You let the law do what the law does. Under grace and imperfect ways means without force and on time. Someone says, "Isn't this too simple?" Truth is simple. The shepherd picture is simple on purpose. You do not need a dictionary to be provided for. You need order in the heart and clean speech on the tongue. Order in the heart says, God first, fear last. Clean speech on the tongue says, I do not speak against my own harvest. You can be very smart and still poor in peace because you let fear run your sentences. Take your sentences back. The smallest child can do this. When a scare comes, teach them to put a hand on the chest and say, I am led, I am safe, I am supplied. Then show them how to take one kind step and one brave step. Kind keeps the heart soft. Brave keeps the path moving. Now hear the decree set for today and let it be enough. Do not add 50 more. Say this once with a steady tone. God is my shepherd in finances. God is my source. I shall not want. Channels obey the law. Divine substance meets this need now, under grace and in perfect ways. After you speak, do not scan your life for proof like a detective. Go do your day with dignity. If a small instruction rises, do it. If nothing rises, praise and carry on. The tree grows even when you are not watching. What about mistakes from the past, debts, bad deals, waste? The shepherd leads forward, not backward. Repentance is not rolling in guilt. It is choosing a right road. Make a plan with light in it. Call the lender, map the payments, cut the leaks, replace one bad habit with one good habit. Celebrate small wins. Every dollar you aim on purpose is a yes written on your future. Every apology you make in business because you value integrity is a stone pulled from your shoe. You walk better after. This is paths of righteousness in daily clothes. Right path, right pace, right proof. Do not perform faith to impress people. Quiet faith buys you time with God's timing. You do not need to post every seed, explain every delay, or defend every boundary. The shepherd's math will show in public when it is time. Until then, count private victories. We paid one bill in full. We saved our first 100. We priced our work with honor. This is not small. This is the bones of an overflow life. Overflow does not start as a flood. It starts as a cup, filled well, again and again, until it spills without stress. And because I love the child listening with you, I will put the whole lesson in one picture. You are not a bucket hunting for rain. You are a branch joined to a river. The river does not beg clouds. The river flows from its source. Stay joined, and the branch will be wet enough for every leaf and fruit appointed to your season. If one twig dries, cut it gently, and let new growth take its place. The river does not apologize for flowing. It simply flows. That is your life under law. So I end this first teaching exactly where Scripture began. I shall not want. Not because I shout, not because I'm lucky, not because a human promised me help. I shall not want because the Lord is my shepherd, and the shepherd is my source. I call every job, client, market, and person what they are, channels, and I bless them to obey the law that governs them. I cast the burden of hurry. I reject the language of lack. I choose right action at a calm pace, and I praise as proof that the spring is real. I do not chase faucets. I follow the river. And under grace in perfect ways, what I need appears when I need it, where I need it, and in the form that serves my purpose best. Rest is not laziness. Rest is a switch that turns on supply. That sentence shocks people who have been trained to hustle until they shake, but it is the plain truth of Psalm 23. Green pastures are not a picture for postcards. They are God's way of saying, I will feed you first, then send you to work. A shepherd never drives hungry sheep into a race. He settles them. They breathe, they eat, they feel safe, and then they move. If you try to plan before you rest, you plan from fear. When you rest first, wisdom stands up inside you and points to the grass that is already growing. Think of a traffic light. Red means stop, yellow means slow, green means go. Green pastures are God's green light, but notice the order. You do not run a red light and call it faith. You do not fight the yellow and call it courage. You listen for the shepherd's pace and then you move. People make money mistakes because they sprint on red. They sign under pressure, say yes to the wrong cost, chase a shiny offer, and then wonder why their stomach feels tight. Tight stomachs do not come from peace. They come from hurry. Green pastures calm your inner pace so you can see what you could not see 2 minutes earlier. Rest in Scripture is not a nap. It is a legal stance called non-resistance. Non-resistance does not mean doing nothing. It means refusing to shove. You do not push the river. You let the river carry the boat. Under grace and in perfect ways is Florence's language for this. Grace is the water level. Perfect ways are the current, and your job is to sit in the boat with a clear head and an honest map. When you feel that shove in your chest, the hurry voice that says, now, before you lose it, that is not the shepherd. The shepherd leads. Pressure shoves. If a choice shoves, pause, breathe, cast the burden, and let the law guide the timing. A child can understand this. Imagine you are baking a cake. The oven has its own law, time and heat. If you keep opening the door every 30 seconds, you ruin the cake. If you pull it out too soon, the middle sinks. Green pastures are God closing the oven door and saying, trust the heat. You did your part. Gathered the ingredients, mix them well, set the temperature. Now step back and let the law finish what the law started. Rest is not losing time. Rest is protecting the result. You might ask, what does rest look like on a work day when I have bills due? It looks like this. You begin by returning your breath to a steady pace because your body is a microphone for your mind. You say one clean decree, no drama, no begging. Divine order governs this day. I am led to right action now, under grace and in perfect ways. Then you do the next obvious thing without rushing. You answer the email with clarity instead of performing a whole speech. You send the invoice with a fair price instead of hiding from your value. You review your numbers with light on, which means you look for facts, not for excuses to panic. You take breaks before you are exhausted, because tired brains make expensive choices. That is rest in motion. It is gentle on the inside and effective on the outside. Green pastures also mean right place, right time. Grass is not green all year in the same field. The shepherd knows which hill has grown after the rain. You do not have to be everywhere. You need to be where you are sent. Some doors are loud, They are not yours. Some offers look perfect. They are not for this season. If you are pushing, you are probably trying to grow your own pasture. Let God lead you to His. How do you know it is His? Peace sits on the choice like a soft weight. You still do the work, but the work does not grind your bones. You are alert, not anxious. You are stretched, not torn. There is a gentle boundary inside green pastures called contentment. Contentment is not small thinking. It is smart timing. It says, I honor what I have while I prepare for more. It stops you from staring at someone else's field and calling your field dead. Comparison is a thief with smooth hands. It steals your attention first, then your peace, then your plan. Keep your eyes on your grass. Water it with gratitude. Pull the weeds of waste and worry. When the shepherd says, up, you will move fast because you were present where you stood. Rest gives you ears. In noise, you hear 10 voices. In rest, you hear one. Many people pray and then do not listen. They drop a request and run back into a storm of opinions. Do the opposite. Speak the decree once, close your mouth, and let instruction rise. It may come as a small nudge. Call this person, wait one day, run the math again, ask for a simpler contract, say no without an essay. The Holy Spirit is a quiet guide. Green pastures are quiet on purpose so you do not miss the soft directions that save you from big detours. There is also a money-saving truth hidden in rest. Mistakes are most expensive when you are tired. The late email with the wrong number, the sloppy contract you did not read, the angry reply that lost a client. These are the bills hurry sends you. Rest is a shield. It slows you enough to catch the extra fee, to notice the wrong date, to realize the sale is not a sale. This is why the shepherd makes you lie down. Sheep will not lie down if they are afraid. Fear keeps them on their feet, twitching at every noise. The shepherd clears the danger, fills the stomach, and then the sheep rest. Once rested, they rise and move, and none of their steps are wasted. Here is a simple law you can teach a 10-year-old and live by as an adult. Pause, praise, plan. Pause means step back from the shove. Praise means you turn your attention to the source and say, you are my spring, not this faucet, which breaks the trance of fear. Plan means you write 2 or 3 small steps you can do today, and you do them without rush. That small rhythm, pause, praise, plan, will save you years. Green. Pastures also protect you from the lie that loud equals strong. Social media rewards noise. Heaven rewards order. Posting your panic does not move provision. Quietly keeping your word moves more doors than shouting about your grind. Quietly paying what you promised builds a path for favor to run toward you. Quietly learning the next skill makes you ready when the opportunity turns green. The shepherd's world runs on trustworthy rhythms, not on random sparks. Rest puts your life back into rhythm so increase has somewhere to land. You may say, but my life is busy. I have kids, a job, 2 side projects. Where do I find rest? You build it in minutes and choices. 10 slow breaths in the car before a call, 1 clean decree instead of 12 anxious paragraphs, a screen off at a set hour so your mind can cool, a short walk without headphones so ideas can enter, a weekly hour to review numbers with tea instead of dread. Rest does not always mean long vacations. It means you stop boiling your brain all day and expect to think clearly at night. Give your mind pockets of stillness and watch how fast it pays you back. The law of circulation moves better from rest than from strain. Giving under pressure feels like a leak. Giving from rest feels like a river. If you feel fear as you give, you are not wrong to pause and listen. Make sure the gift is by guidance, not by guilt. A guided gift makes a straight road for supply to return. A guilty gift tangles your heart and you resent what should have blessed you. Green pastures help you hear the difference. Rest is honest about limits. Even the best fields need fences. Your time, your energy, and your money are not infinite, and pretending they are will make you a liar to yourself. In green pastures, you set boundaries with a warm voice and a firm spine. You say, I can deliver this by Friday, not, I will somehow become a superhero by tomorrow. You say, this is my price, not, I will discount my dignity to be liked. Boundaries are not walls against love. They are walls against waste. The shepherd builds them. They keep wolves out and keep you inside the area where your life is fed. Another child's simple picture. Your phone battery. If you keep every app open, the battery dies before lunch. Close what you are not using. Many people run 6 fear apps at once. What if I lose the job? What if the market crashes? What if they do not like me? What if I am late? What if I choose wrong? What if I never catch up? Close the apps. You are not the security guard of every possible future. You are a sheep with a shepherd who sees past the hill. Let him be the lookout while you do the next right thing in front of you. What do you say when your brain tries to speed you up? Say, I act from rest, not from rush. Divine order arranges this now, under grace and in perfect ways. What do you do when money feels tight? Do not run in circles. Run a pencil over your real numbers. Facts are friends in green pastures. You may find you need a small cut here, a small call there, a new price here, a temporary pause there. Do the small things and bless them. Blessing is not perfume, it is power. When you bless an action, you set it under law. When you curse an action, you take it out of law and into chaos. Rest teaches your mouth to say less and mean more. A short yes is better than a long maybe. A clean no is kinder than a messy yes. Talk straight, deliver steady, and let your words be few and your work be strong. Green pastures grow trust. Trust lowers costs because people do not have to chase you, remind you, or repair after you. Trust is invisible money you can spend later when you need help, a favor, or a second chance. You might fear that if you slow down inside, you will fall behind outside. The opposite is true. Calm brains catch windows that frantic brains miss. Calm eyes see the cheap fix no one noticed. Calm ears hear the name you should call. Calm hands type the email that opens 3 months of work. Calm feet walk past the baited hook. Calm hearts sleep, and sleep grows better ideas. Green pastures do not make you slow, they make you precise. Precision beats speed in money like good aim beats wild swinging in a game. Now take the lesson and put it in a clear practice you can repeat. When a money decision appears, do not answer from adrenaline. Sit back and breathe as if you are sipping water. Say once, I am led to the right choice, under grace and in perfect ways. Ask, is this my pasture or am I trying to grow my own grass? If peace settles, move. If push returns, pause. If you need numbers, pull them. If you need counsel, seek someone calm, not someone loud. If you feel shame, drop it at once. Shame clouds the window. You are not a failure. You are a learner under a faithful shepherd. Finally, remember this simple picture you can hand to any child. When a teacher says, heads down, hands still, it is not punishment. It is to help the class hear. Green pastures are God's heads down, hands still for your life. He is not scolding you. He is setting you up to hear where the food is. Once you hear, you will not wander, you will walk. Once you walk, you will not starve. you will eat, and you will find that the plan you were trying to force was smaller than the plan that grew while you rested. So speak the decree and leave it in the ground. The Lord is my shepherd. He settles me in green pastures. I act from rest. I hear clearly, and I move in right time, under grace and in perfect ways. Then do today's work with a steady tone, a clean page, and a quiet heart. The grass is already growing. Rest lets you see it, and seeing it is the first step to eating well. If your heart is loud, your money goes blind. That's a hard sentence, but it is true, and it explains why Psalm 23 says, "The shepherd leads beside still waters before he speaks of paths and tables and overflow." Sheep do not drink from a rushing river. The splash scares them and they pull back. They need quiet water to drink deeply. In the same way, you will not receive clear guidance about work, bills, prices, or partnerships while your mind is splashing. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a prophet's skill. Stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness is choosing the speed where wisdom can catch you. Picture a glass of muddy water. If you keep shaking the glass, it never clears. Put it down on the counter and wait. The dirt falls, the water turns clear, and you can see. Your thoughts work like that. When fear shakes them, you cannot tell the difference between a good idea and a trap. When you become still, the dirt sinks, and the next right step becomes simple enough for a child to do. This is why the shepherd brings you to quiet first. Clarity is part of provision. A clear mind misses fewer fees, signs better contracts, chooses honest partners, and knows when to wait without losing courage. Still waters do not mean a silent life. They mean a settled center. You can be in a busy office or a noisy home and still carry a quiet inside. Think of stillness as a tool you carry in your pocket. When money choices appear, you take the tool out, you turn the noise down, you listen for the shepherd's nudge, and you act from peace instead of push. A simple way to do this is the 90-second reset. Sit back, let your shoulders drop, breathe in slowly through your nose and out through your mouth, and say one clean sentence. Divine order governs this decision now, under grace and in perfect ways. Do not add 5 more sentences. Do not bargain. Speak once. Let the dirt settle and watch what rises. How do you know an idea rose from still waters and not from fear? Peace sits on it like a soft weight. The numbers may still require faith. The call may still need courage. But inside the action, there is room to breathe. Fear ideas shove. Peace ideas lead. Fear says, hurry or you will miss it. Peace says, move now because it is time. Fear always feels like being chased. Peace feels like being guided. Learn the difference and you will save yourself years of recovery. Still waters teach you to separate facts from fear. Facts are simple: dates, prices, amounts, deadlines. Fear adds colors and drama to facts until the page looks scary. When you sit beside still waters, you let facts be facts again. You write the 3 numbers that matter most today, not the 30 numbers that could matter someday, and you answer them one by one. For example, what is due this week? What can be adjusted? What small step moves this forward now? This is not pretending the rest does not exist. This is refusing to drown in it. A 10-year-old can do this with pocket money. An adult can do this with a budget. Calm math is money's best friend. Noise is expensive. The panic tax shows up as late fees, impulse buys, sloppy pricing, and yes, answers you regret. Still waters cut that tax. When you slow down inside, you catch the wrong date before you click. You see the add-on fee hiding in the cart. You notice the clause that would trap you. You choose a fuller price because you are not apologizing for your value anymore. Peace does not make you slow. Peace makes you precise. Precision is how money stops leaking. A child can understand the peace test. If you must talk yourself into it with 10 speeches, you are not ready. If you can say one clean yes and breathe, it is likely right. Still waters keep you honest about this. You do not sell yourself a story just to stop the feeling in your stomach. You honor your stomach by asking, what part of this makes me tight? Then you fix that part, or you walk away. Tightness is not always danger. Sometimes it is just growth. But growth tightness eases when you get facts. Danger tightness stays loud even after the facts. Learn that difference in stillness and you will avoid many traps. The world trains you to replace peace with performance. It tells you to post every move, hurry every plan, and answer every message in 5 minutes, or people will forget you. The shepherd trains you to replace performance with order. Order means the right thing, in the right way, at the right time. Order is quiet. Quiet does not show off. Quiet gets things done. Quiet files the document, sets the reminder, cleans the spreadsheet, confirms the terms, and then goes for a walk. Quiet makes fewer promises and keeps them all. Quiet remembers that the law records voice, not volume. One decree spoken from peace moves more supply than 50 frantic lines. Use the peace compass before money choices. Ask 2 questions. Does this action increase my peace or decrease it? And does it keep me honest or push me toward pretend? If the action increases peace and keeps you honest, even if it stretches you, proceed. If it lowers peace and invites pretend, pause. Pausing is not losing. Pausing is timing. The shepherd's timing has never ruined a life. People's rushing often has. If someone tries to force your timeline with today-only pressure, remember, the river of supply does not close at 5 p.m. God is your source, not a flyer. Still waters are where you tune your inner radio. Stations exist all at once in the air, but you only hear the one you tune to. Fear is a station. Faith is a station. The shepherd's guidance is a station. When you are rushing, your tuner slides and everything sounds like static. When you become still, the dial clicks. The words come simple. Wait a day. Ask for a simpler contract. Call the second person on the list. Sell the thing you are not using. Raise the price 5%. Take the class. Forgive the debt you keep replaying. Give that small amount and break the freeze. Close that extra tab. Go to sleep. None of those instructions are dramatic, but they produce clean results. God's path is not usually loud, it is exact. Practice 2 pockets of peace each day. In the morning, before screens, put your hand on your chest and say, I cast the burden of money fear to the Christ within. I go free. I am led to right action now, under grace and in perfect ways. Then look at one small task that pays back today and do it first. At night, after screens, write 3 wins from the day, even tiny ones, and 1 next step for tomorrow. End with, divine order keeps what I gain today and multiplies it while I rest. You are training your mind to close the kitchen so the house can sleep. Ideas bake best in quiet ovens. Teach your house the still waters language. Ban sentences that splash dirt back into the glass. We will never catch up. Money hates me. Everything goes wrong. I always choose badly. Replace them with clean truth that a child can say, we live by divine supply. We are learning fast. This bill has a plan. We make good choices from peace. Right doors stay open long enough for us to walk through. This is not denial. This is direction. Your words point your mind. Your mind directs your steps. Your steps change your numbers. Do not let guilt pretend to be God. Guilt tries to drive your giving, your pricing, your time, and your yes. Guided giving returns as flow. Guilty giving returns as resentment. Guided discounts create loyalty. Guilty discounts create users. Guided time brings fruit. Guilty time breeds burnout. Still waters let you tell the difference. If you feel a nudge to give, check for peace. If peace stays, give without fear and say, "Law of circulation, do your work." If pressure stays, wait. The shepherd does not lead by shame. He leads by voice. Still waters also protect your relationships around money. When peace rules your tone, you can say, "No," without a speech. "Not now," without a fight. "Here is my price." Without a tremble. "Here is my plan to repay," without hiding. Peaceful honesty keeps friendships and clients longer than fake happiness. People trust calm. Calm says, "I am not here to impress you. I am here to do this right." Doing it right is slow in the first 5 minutes and fast in the next 5 months. When fear spikes, an unexpected bill, a broken tool, a lost client, do not let your mouth run ahead of your mind. Use the 3-line protocol. Line 1, God is my source, channels come and go. Line 2, divine substance meets this need now under grace and in perfect ways. Line 3, what is my next right step? Then do only that next step. Do not try to live 10 tomorrows in one afternoon. The shepherd gives daily bread. He gives daily wisdom. Take today's share and let tomorrow's come tomorrow. Set a simple 24-hour cool rule for major money choices. If the amount or the commitment is big, you must pass one night beside still waters before you say yes. You speak the decree, you rest, you wake, and you check your peace in daylight. Overnight, the dirt settles. Options that were shiny often turn gray. Options that looked plain often turn golden. If a seller cannot allow a night, they are not selling green pastures. Still, waters are not against action. They are for right action. Think of a camera. If your hand shakes, the picture blurs even if the subject is beautiful. Hold still for 1 second and the picture is sharp. In finance, stillness before action gives you sharp pictures. You see the real cost, the real time, the real help needed, the real return. You choose with eyes open and you stop paying the blur tax. Help the children around you practice this young. Before they spend their pocket money on the first thing at the store, teach them the quiet test. Hand on chest, slow breaths, one clean question. Will I still be glad tomorrow? If they feel push inside, wait. If they feel room inside, buy. You are not just training a child to shop. You are training a future adult to listen for God in money. That skill will feed them more than any single purchase. If your life has been loud for a long time, quiet may feel boring at first. It's not boring. It is new strength. Loud excitement often hides a tired brain and a hungry heart. Peace fills both. In peace, you rediscover simple joys that cost little and pay much. A walk after dinner, a clean desk, a solved problem, a priced task done well, a good sleep, a paid bill. These build your confidence, and confidence attracts opportunity. People hire calm. People refer calm. Calm stays hired because calm delivers. Let me give you a small, repeatable plan for today. Before you touch your accounts, do the 90-second reset and speak, "I am led beside still waters." I think clearly, choose wisely, and move on time, under grace and in perfect ways. List the 3 most important money actions for today. Put them in an order that protects peace. The hardest first or the quickest win first, whichever keeps you steady. Do them without rush. If a surprise hits, do not abandon stillness. Reapply the reset and take the next right step. Close the day by writing what worked and what you will do first tomorrow. This tiny structure turns still waters into steady progress. Finally, keep the picture simple enough for a child to carry. A little lamb sees a fast river and steps back. The shepherd does not scold. He leads the lamb a few steps to the side where the water is quiet and safe. And there the lamb drinks, fills up, and walks strong. You are that lamb. God is that shepherd. Money is one of the streams of life. When it runs wild, step to the side with him until it runs still in you. Drink peace first, then plan. Speak once, then act. Hold your pace. Then watch how often the right door opens at the right time without a fight. Say this once and let it settle like a stone in the clear water. He leads me beside still waters. My mind is calm, my choices are clean, and my provision flows under grace and in perfect ways. I cast the burden of rush to the Christ within. I go free. Now do today's work with that tone in your chest. Still waters are not a pause in life. They are the power in your life. They do not slow you down. They let you see. And when you can see, you can choose. And when you can choose, you can prosper without losing your peace. A broken money mind will leak every blessing you pour into it. That sentence is not an insult, it is a map. He restores my soul comes before public overflow because God strengthens the container before he increases the content. In simple words, a child can hold. If the cup has a crack, more juice won't fix the spill. Your soul is the cup. When the shepherd restores the cup, your thoughts, your feelings, your choices, supply can finally stay. Restoration is not a nice feeling for a rainy day. It is the repair that makes abundance sustainable. Let's define soul in kid language. Your soul is where you think, feel, and decide. Every money choice walks through those 3 doors. If the thought door is full of old worry, the feeling door is full of shame, and the decision door is in a hurry, then even a good paycheck gets lost in the hall. That is why many people repeat the same month for 10 years. It is not a paycheck problem. It is a pattern problem. Psalm 23 does not skip this. The shepherd does not just hand out grass. He restores the sheep. Restoration is God's way of clearing the hall so provision can finally reach the table. Money memories shape money reflexes. A past late notice can plant a fear that makes you pay in panic and forget to plan. A childhood of, we can't afford anything, can make you undercharge as an adult because you feel guilty for being paid. A season of debt calls can train your body to freeze at the word bill, so you toss envelopes instead of opening them. These reactions are not proof that you are weak. They are signs that the soul needs care. The good news is simple. What was learned can be unlearned. What was hurt can be healed. What was cracked can be mended, under grace and in perfect ways. Restoration begins with truth, without drama. Tell the simple truth about where you are, the way a doctor looks at a chart. Numbers do not bite. Panic does. When you say, this is my real total, this is my income, these are my dates, you pick up the steering wheel again. Shame wants a fog, so you will crash and call it fate. The shepherd brings light so you can steer. Light is not loud, it is a calm sentence. I see it. I do not run. God is my source. I will take the next right step. Drop the backpack of self-accusation. Imagine a child walking to school with rocks marked regret, waste, and stupid on their back. Would you let them carry that? Of course not. You would open the bag and empty it. Do that for yourself. Regret is a heavy rock that does not pay a single bill. Put it down and pick up responsibility instead. Responsibility is lighter. It says, I made choices. I am making new ones. Every time shame speaks, answer with law, not with more shame. I cast the burden of failure to the Christ within. I go free. I am guided to right action now, under grace and in perfect ways. Forgiveness sits at the front door of restoration. Forgive yourself for the season when you did not know better. Forgive the parent who spoke fear into grocery aisles. Forgive the partner who broke trust. Forgiveness is not saying they were right. Forgiveness is saying, you no longer get to steer my financial life. Unforgiveness is an invisible bill you pay every day with your peace. Cancel that bill. Free the hands you need for building. When Jesus said to cast the burden, he did not say argue with it for 3 hours. He said throw it on him and walk free. That is not denial, that is transfer. Now we rebuild the inner sentences that run your money. Inner sentences are like apps always running in the background. If your app says, I never have enough, you will overspend when you are sad to prove the sentence true. If your app says money is dirty, you will overgive to avoid keeping any. If your app says I am bad at numbers, you will avoid the very work that would make you better. Replace those lines with clean code a child can say. I am learning fast. I honor money by handling it well. I price my work with dignity. I am paid in full for full value under grace. Speak them once with faith and then act like they are true. The mind follows the mouth. The body follows the mind. The numbers follow both. Restoration uses small wins as stitches. A torn shirt is mended stitch by stitch, not by wishing it whole. Open one envelope you have avoided and make one call. Pay one small bill in full and bless it aloud as you click. This closes with peace. Set one tiny weekly transfer to savings and call it seed, not scraps. Price one offer fairly without apologizing in the email. Log one day of spending without judging yourself. These stitches look small, but they close the tear. Confidence returns, not because you shouted, but because you kept your word to yourself for 7 days in a row. That is soul healing in action. Your body keeps score, so restoration cares for nerves, not just numbers. Notice where money fear lives in you. Maybe it sits in your throat, making words tight when you ask for payment. Maybe it lives in your stomach when you open your banking app. The shepherd leads beside still waters because bodies drink calm. Use your breath like a tool. Slow in, slow out until your shoulders drop. Whisper, divine order governs this conversation. Then make the call. You are not weak for needing to breathe. You are wise for resetting your instrument before you play. Stewardship is soul therapy in work clothes. Many people think budgeting is punishment. It is actually permission. It gives every dollar a job so your fears do not hire them first. It says yes to fun on purpose instead of yes to panic in secret. It says yes to giving because you planned it, not because you were shamed into it. It says yes to savings because future you matters, not because you are greedy. Stewardship is not stingy, it is loving. You love your life by placing it in order. The shepherd blesses order because order can carry blessing without spilling it. Boundaries are the stitches that keep the soul from tearing again. A boundary is a loving line, not an angry wall. It sounds like, here is my price. Here is my timeline. Here is what I can do. Here is what I cannot do, said with a warm tone and a steady spine. People who do not respect boundaries want your yes to be free and your no to be expensive. Let your yes be honest and your no be clean. You are not rude for protecting the pasture God gave you. You are responsible. Generational patterns are real, but they are not prisons. Families pass down sentences the way they pass down recipes. We are not those people. Money changes you. Rich folks are crooks. Our men always struggle. Our women carry the bills. You can honor your family and retire a sentence at the same time. Try this clean line. I bless my people. I keep the love. I release the lack. The pattern stops with me. A child can say that. It is not rebellion, it is repair. You are not shaming anyone when you choose a wiser road. You are building a better map for those who walk after you. Restoration also heals the way you receive. Some can give, but they choke when it is time to take a fair payment. They call it humility. It is often fear. Humility is exact about value. It does not lie up or down. When you set a price that honors your work and the client says yes, let the yes land. Do not rush to add extras to prove you deserve it. Do not cancel the invoice because you felt shy. Let the harvest match the seed. That is not greed, that is justice. The workman is worthy of his hire is not a brag, it is a law. Mistakes under mercy turn into wisdom. The shepherd restores the soul, not by erasing the past, but by redeeming the lessons. If you signed a bad contract, learn the clause you missed and make that your new standard. If you ignored your numbers until you paid a late fee, make the calendar your friend. If you trusted a smooth voice instead of the peace test, make stillness your gatekeeper. Nothing is wasted under grace. Even the wrong turns become signposts for the next traveler if you let God write the caption. Because this is soul work, we keep it baby simple and grown up strong. Set a daily 5-minute restoration room. Sit, breathe, and say, He restores my soul. I receive light for money matters now, under grace and in perfect ways. Ask one question. What agreement with lack am I still carrying? An agreement might sound like, I must do everything myself, or I am always behind, or I am bad with money. Say out loud, I break that agreement. It is not mine. I agree with divine supply. I am led, provided for, and wise. Then take one small action that matches your new agreement. Send one invoice. Raise one price by a fair amount. Cancel one wasteful thing. File one important paper. Close the 5 minutes with, I cast the burden of hurry and shame to the Christ within. I go free. Teach restoration to the children near you in pictures. If a child spills juice and sobs, you do not punish them for being small. You hand them a towel and teach them to wipe. You show them how to pour slower next time. You do not say, you will always spill. You say, you are learning. Talk to yourself like that. You are not a failure. You are a learner with a shepherd. Learners get better. Shepherds guide. Law responds. Language hygiene is part of healing. Stop cursing your own wallet with jokes that poison the soil. I'm broke. I'm doomed. I'm allergic to numbers. I always mess up. Sound cute for 5 seconds and cost you 5 days. Replace them with clean, light sentences that invite help. I am resourced. I am growing skillful. I handle money with ease. I am paid on time. I honor my commitments. I think clearly about costs and value. I give and receive under grace. Say them without a stage voice. Say them like you are telling the truth. If anxiety spikes, your old alarm is flashing. Do not fight the siren. Turn it off with a reset. Put a hand on your chest. Breathe slow and say, peace first, plan next. Then do the next honest thing. If the honest thing is to call the company and ask for a plan, call. If the honest thing is to admit you overpromised, admit and reset the date. If the honest thing is to ask for help, ask someone steady, not dramatic. The shepherd's help often walks to you in simple shoes. Pride wants a miracle that makes a movie. God often sends a neighbor with a toolbox. Soul restoration makes you generous without becoming a martyr. You give as led, not as bled. In healthy seasons, you will give more. In tight seasons, you will give by guidance, not by guilt. You will stop rescuing adults who choose chaos and start investing in people who choose order. You will stop buying peace with money and start keeping peace with boundaries. You will discover that no is a gift you give to keep yes meaningful. Do not fear the slow work. A tree is not ashamed of rings. Each ring is proof of a year well lived. Let this be a ring year. Stack clean days, stack clean decisions, stack clean sentences, stack clean payments, stack clean rest. You will look up and realize the crack does not run through you anymore. You are holding more without spilling, and you are not tired in the same old way. That is soul restoration in plain clothes. And because this is Florence's house, let us seal the work with decree, not with drama. Speak once with a steady voice and then walk like it is true. He restores my soul. Christ within is my wisdom now. God is my source. Channels obey the law. I handle money with clarity, dignity, and joy. Divine substance meets every right need now, under grace and in perfect ways. Do your next right task and let peace be your proof. Restoration is not a mood, it is a new way to move. When the soul stands up straight, money stops slipping through your fingers, and the life you are building finally has room to hold the blessing that has been trying to reach you all along. If you have to lie to get it, you will pay to keep it. That line sounds sharp, but it's true, and it explains why the shepherd leads in paths of righteousness. Righteousness here is not a stiff religious pose. It is the right way to walk so your blessing can land and last. In simple words, a child can grasp. The right road takes you to the right place. You can run on the wrong road and still arrive late, tired and lost. God's way is not just holy, it is smart. It prevents leaks, cuts hidden costs, and keeps your harvest safe once it grows. Think of a house. If the foundation is crooked, every pretty lamp and couch you add will tilt and slide. Integrity is the straight foundation. It holds the weight of increase. Without it, you spend your future fixing yesterday's shortcuts. Many people confuse fast with blessed. Fast is useful when it sits on truth. It is dangerous when it sits on tricks. The law of divine supply does not honor clever deceit. It honors clean alignment. Alignment means the right thing, in the right way, at the right time. That sounds simple because it is simple. It just isn't always easy when fear shouts. But fear is not your shepherd. Truth is. Righteousness in money looks like clear honesty in small places no one sees. You write the real hours, not the dream hours. You send the real invoice, not the one that hides a fee in tiny letters. You keep your word on delivery dates instead of stacking promises you can't keep. You do not pirate tools and call it being scrappy. You do not fudge numbers on forms and call it being wise. You do not bribe a gate and call it favor. A 10-year-old can understand this. When the game has rules, you don't win by breaking them. You ruin the game for everyone, including yourself. God's economy is a game that works when we play it straight. When you do, peace comes attached to your results. Peace is profit you don't have to report, yet it pays every day. If the word righteousness feels heavy, swap it for rightness. Rightness protects you. It is a fence that keeps wolves out of your pasture. Wolves look like easy money, like slippery partners, like one-time exceptions, like no one will know. But you will know, and your name knows, and your future knows. Your name is a key. A clean name opens doors without knocking hard. People pass your name in rooms you are not in, and the door swings because trust carried it there. That is reward. It looks slow at first because foundations go in the ground where no one claps. But once the walls start, they go up straight and they stay up in storms. Right paths are often quiet paths. They don't flash. They build. They look like slow learning, like asking one more question before signing, like reading the contract line by line, like admitting you don't understand a clause and asking for plain words. They look like filing your taxes on time and telling the truth on the form. They look like paying the junior worker on time because their rent matters to God too. They look like correcting a bill you could have gotten away with because you price with dignity, not with tricks. None of this makes a loud video, but all of this makes a long life. Someone asks, but won't I fall behind if others are cutting corners? Hear me. Success outside righteousness is noisy and temporary. It runs fast until the bill arrives. The bill can be a lawsuit, a leak, a loss of trust, a team that quits, a mind that cannot sleep, a door that closes with your name on it for years. Right success is steady and repairable. If right success is shaken, it resets because the foundation is intact. You may bend, you don't break. That is for His name's sake. Not in a religious tone, but in a reality tone. Your life advertises the shepherd. He will not lead you on a road that ruins His own reputation for care. Righteousness also governs pricing. Undercharging is not humble. It is often fear. Overcharging is not smart. It is greed. Right pricing is fair exchange, full value, clear scope, clean terms. You say the number with a calm voice and deliver what you promised without excuses. A child selling lemonade can learn this. If the cup is bigger, the price is slightly higher. If the cup is smaller, the price is slightly lower. Smiles are free. Adults forget this and hide their fear behind drama. Drop the drama. Tell the truth. If you don't yet have the skill to charge higher, learn the skill instead of padding the bill. The shepherd does not bless fluff. He blesses fruit. Walking the right path also means how you treat other people's money. If you hold a deposit, you guard it as if it were your grandmother's. If you borrow gear, you return it clean. If you break something, you admit it and make it right. If you can't meet a date, you tell them soon, not last minute. If someone pays you late, you follow up firmly and respectfully without turning your throat into a horn. Respect is not weakness, it is alignment. The law listens to tone. A calm, clear request returns with better results than a storm, because people feel safe giving good things to calm people. Rightness knows when to say no. Not every open door is your door. Some offers feel like a push in your chest. Some partnerships sparkle but ask you to dim your honesty. Some deals feed your bank but starve your soul. If you have to hide it from the person you hope your child becomes, do not do it. The shepherd does not need you to dishonor yourself to provide for you. He has more doors. Righteousness trusts that. It waits without turning bitter and works without turning bent. Waiting is not losing. While you wait, you grow the skill and the character to carry the next level without spilling it. Let's put this into child-level pictures. Imagine a bridge. If the boards are nailed straight, you can carry heavy boxes and not worry. If the boards are loose, every step squeaks and shakes. Integrity is tight. Boards. You tighten them by telling the truth when it costs a little, so you don't have to pay a lot later. You tighten them by finishing small tasks exactly, so big tasks trust you when they arrive. You tighten them by cleaning up your own mess without being asked, so people hand you more without hovering. Children who learn this build lives adults can lean on. Adults who relearn this stop tripping over the same plank. Righteousness includes right timing. The right thing at the wrong time can still be wrong. A seed in winter is fine, but you do not expect a harvest in 2 days. You expect a process because you understand seasons. In money, seasons exist. There are start seasons where you plant skill and patience. There are grow seasons where the ground looks quiet while roots deepen. There are show seasons where fruit appears and people say, "You came out of nowhere." But you know you came out of the ground you tended when no one texted claps. Don't rob your own roots by ripping them up to prove to strangers you are growing. What about when you have already stepped off the right path? Righteousness is not perfection. It is correction. You can always step back into the path with honesty and action. If you misbuild, correct it and send the clean version with an apology that respects both sides. If you ghosted a client, tell the truth and make a new plan you can keep. If you copied someone's work, stop, credit them, and do your own. The shepherd restores. He does not humiliate. He trains your hands for right work by letting you practice right repair. Repair is part of reward. It teaches you you're strong enough to fix, not just to flaunt. Right paths attract right people. Honest vendors find you. Fair clients stay with you. Mentors appear who teach without strings. Partners materialize, who bring what you lack and respect what you bring. The world calls this luck. It is alignment. The law likes order. Order likes company. When your inside life and outside actions match, you become a signal that other aligned people can hear. This is why you don't have to scream for attention when you walk the right road. The right road has its own traffic that finds you. There is a protection that rides with righteousness. Doors you should not enter stay locked. Emails you should not answer get stuck in spam. People who would waste your time get bored and go. That is not loss. That is mercy. On the other hand, paths open without strain when integrity knocks. Processes speed up. Approvals arrive without 3 extra hoops. Discounts appear that make sense, not shady. This is not fantasy talk. This is the daily texture of life when you are not working against your own prayer with crooked steps. A quick word to young ears. Do not be impressed by flashy wrong. Wrong is a sugar rush. It spikes and crashes. Right is steady bread. It keeps you strong all day. If a friend dares you to keep change that isn't yours, give it back and watch your life stay. Light. If someone offers the answers to a test, say no and let your own brain grow. This is not about being perfect. It is about being free. Lies link ankles. Truth frees your stride. You will run farther with clean feet than you will slide with buttered shoes. Righteousness and reward are married by law. The reward might be money, but it is also peace, sleep, favor, ideas, loyal teams, return clients, and a clear face in the mirror. If you must constantly look over your shoulder, you did not get a blessing. You hired a bodyguard for your guilt. Fire that guard. Hire truth. Truth guards you for free. It even brings friends. Confidence and clarity. Confidence says your price with a steady tone. Clarity writes better contracts. Together, they save you from paying for the same lesson 3 times. Take this into your day in a way a child could repeat. Before you send a message, ask, is it true? Is it clear? Is it kind? Before you sign a thing, ask, do I understand? Can I deliver? Is this aligned? Before you accept a deal, ask, will I be proud to tell this story to my child 10 years from now? If the answers are clean, proceed. If they are muddy, pause and wash them. The shepherd is not rushing you into traps. He is leading you around them, sometimes with a slow turn that saves your life. Now seal the road with decree, because in this house we speak law, and then we walk it. Say once not as a performance, but as a placement. Divine order leads me in right paths for His name's sake. I do the right thing in the right way at the right time. I am paid in full for full value. I refuse shortcuts that bend my soul. My name is clean, my work is honest, and my harvest is safe, under grace and in perfect ways. After you speak, do one right act that costs a little, because small obedience strengthens big doors. Correct the tiny invoice. Tell the truth on the form. Return the borrowed thing. Set the clear price. Send the realistic date. These are not boring chores. They are bricks in a road that does not collapse when the weight of blessing arrives. If a test shows up, do not panic. Tests confirm what class you can enter next. When a cheap shortcut whispers today, trade it for a quiet yes to integrity and watch how tomorrow greets you with room. The shepherd's paths are not crowded with panic. They are lined with favor. You don't need to elbow. You don't need to beg. You don't need to fake. Walk straight, speak clean, deliver true, and rest. Right paths lead to right tables, and when you sit there, you will eat in peace because you did not steal the chair. The valley is not your address. Read that again and let it sit. You may be in a tight month, a scary bill, a job loss, a shrinking sales chart, but the valley is a corridor, not your living room. Psalm 23 does not say, I fall apart in the valley. It says, I walk through. Walking is movement without panic. Walking is steady, step after step, even when the scenery looks dark. If God is your shepherd, the valley cannot claim you, and fear has no legal right to run your decisions. You are not a victim of numbers on a screen. You are led by a source who is not afraid of shadows. Shadows look big and feel cold, but they are not the thing itself. A shadow of a dog cannot bite. A shadow of a bill cannot drain a bank. A shadow of bad news cannot control your future. It can scare you into wasting strength, but it cannot touch your covenant. When Scripture says, the valley of the shadow of death, it is teaching you how to name what you see. It is a shadow. Call it what it is so your mind stops turning a shadow into a prison. You are walking through, not camping out. You are not building a house in lack. You are not decorating despair. You are moving. Panic is expensive. It buys things you don't need at prices you can't afford to solve problems that don't exist. It signs fast, forgets terms, and pays late fees for sport. The valley demands the opposite of panic. The valley asks for pace. Pace is power. A child can understand this. When the hallway is dark, you do not run full speed. You put one hand on the wall and walk. You do not crash into the corner table because you were patient. Your bank account needs the same wisdom. Walk. Do not sprint through a contract because your heart is loud. Do not say yes because the timer on a website flashes red. Do not borrow because you are embarrassed to ask for time. Walk, breathe, and let the shepherd set your steps. I will fear no evil, David says, and that includes financial evil. Evil can look like a predatory loan, a trap in fine print, a partner who smiles and steals, a habit that leaks money, one small bite at a time. Fear is not how you beat evil. Fear is how evil hires you to hurt yourself. The shepherd's method is different. He gives you a rod and a staff. The rod is correction. The staff is direction. Correction sounds like, cancel that subscription, return that thing you don't use, stop buying peace with purchases, stop hiding bills under paper. Direction sounds like, call this company and ask for a plan. Ask your client for a clear timeline. Write a simple budget that feeds the essentials. First, set a fair price and stand in it. Correction and direction together feel like comfort. You know what to stop and you know where to step. In a valley, cash flow is a shepherd's path. Essentials come first, not because other things don't matter, but because order matters more when resources are tight. Essentials are simple: the roof that keeps you dry, the lights that keep you safe, the food that keeps you strong, the transport that keeps you connected to income. Get those steady, then you breathe. When your mind tries to sprint into 5 years of worries, bring it back to the next 30 days. 30 days is a field you can see. You plan those weeks with calm math, not with drama. Calm math looks like this in plain language. List what has to be paid to keep life stable. Call the people you owe before they call you. Tell the truth without theater, and ask for terms you can keep. People are kinder to steady voices than to storms. You are not begging, you are arranging. That is dignity. Do not make the valley louder by pretending. Pretend spends money twice, once to keep up the show and once to fix the mess. If a child spilled juice, you would not spread a scarf over the puddle and invite guests to step on it. You would get a towel. Get a towel. If you took on too much, say so early, reset the date, and deliver the new promise exactly. If you quoted too low, explain the scope and adjust for the next project. If you need help, ask a steady person, not a dramatic one. The shepherd's help often walks to you in work boots, not in a cape. Pride wants a movie. God gives solutions. Fear will try to speed you up with what-ifs. What if the job never returns? What if the client leaves? What if the car breaks? What if the market falls? What if the future is all valleys? The what-if machine eats your sleep and leaves you too tired to take the step that would actually help. Shut the machine down. Use the 3-beat protocol you already know. Pause, praise, plan. Pause means you stop the mental sprint. Praise means you put your eyes back on source and say, "You are my spring, not this faucet." Plan means you choose the next right action and take it without rush. Next right action is never 10 steps at once. It is a call, an email, a line item, a drive to return a thing, a 2-sentence message to negotiate terms, a small sale of what you do not need, a small seed of generosity to break frozen fear in your chest. You do not do them all at once. You do one, then the next. Walking. Some valleys are made of numbers, some are made of nerves. Your nervous system remembers past scares and rings alarms even when today's facts are manageable. That is why the shepherd leads you to still waters before he talks about paths. You need calm to think. Use your breath like a tool. Before money calls, slow in, slow out, until your heart stops knocking in your throat. Speak one decree and keep it short. Divine order governs this call. I speak clearly and I am heard, under grace and in perfect ways. Then do not perform. Say what is true. Ask for what is possible. Write it down and keep it. Each kept word repairs your confidence. Confidence pays bills faster than anxiety ever did. There is a temptation in the valley to grab any offer that promises fast relief. Fast relief often hides long pain. Scams grow in shadows because shadows make everything look the same size. Bring each offer into light. Does it depend on secrecy, shame, or speed? If yes, it is not your pasture. Does peace sit on it when you turn the screen off and come back an hour later? If yes, it may be provision. Ask simple questions a child would ask. What do I give? What do I get? When do I get it? Who stands behind this? What happens if it goes wrong? If an adult cannot answer child questions in plain words, do not buy their promise. You are not desperate. You are discerning. Valleys teach budget courage. Budget is not punishment. Budget is a map drawn by a calm brain so you do not let a scared brain steer at midnight. A valley budget is simple, honest, and short. It has room for breathing and no room for pretend. You write the numbers that keep life solid. You mark the luxuries you can pause without harming your soul. You choose free joys while you repair. You move fun from spend to feel okay for 5 minutes, to do, to feel grounded for hours. A walk, a clean room, a cooked meal with music, a book from the library, a talk with a friend, a nap are not poor replacements, they are rich repairs. Children understand this better than adults. They know play does not require price tags. Let them teach you while you teach them courage. When a collector calls, speak like a person, not a cornered animal. Wild voices invite wild responses. Calm voices invite cooperation. I want to repay and I need a plan I can keep. Here is what I can do. Say it once without a script voice. If a person is rude, bless them and ask for a supervisor. You do not have to swallow abuse to be responsible. You can be firm without being hard. Firm sounds like, that date is not possible. This one is. And then you keep it. Each kept plan writes reliable next to your name again. A reliable name reopens doors that panic slammed. The valley also reveals leaks that sunshine hid. Anxiety spending, guilt giving, revenge buying, approval purchases, and I worked hard, I deserve it traps are easier to spot when money is tight. Do not shame yourself for old leaks. Fix them and thank the valley for showing you where the cracks were. Close the app you always open when you feel small. Unfollow the constant temptation. Put friction between impulse and action. Move your shopping app off the front page. Put your savings app in its place. Little frictions save big futures. A 10-year-old understands this when you put cookies on a high shelf. Adults can apply the same wisdom to phones. There is honor in small money earned cleanly. Receive it with gratitude instead of despising it, because it is not the number you dream of. The valley often reintroduces you to honest work you thought was beneath you. Nothing honest is beneath you. Work is dignity. If a short-term job keeps the light on while you rebuild, take it without wearing shame like a coat. You are not shrinking. You are stabilizing. Stabilizing is how you walk out. And while you do, keep building the lane that carries your long-term increase. A skill, a service, a product, a system. Valleys are schools. Learn while you walk. The class you pass here will make your next season last. Guard your sleep. The valley loves midnight courtrooms where your mind cross-examines you until sunrise. You are not a case to be tried. You are a person to be led. Set a shut-off time for valley talk. 2 hours before bed. No more budgets, no more what-ifs, no more debt math. Put tomorrow's 3 steps on paper, close the kitchen of your mind, and let your nervous system cool. Sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is strategy. Tired brains sign bad deals. Rested brains catch the clause that saves a year. He makes you lie down because lying down keeps you standing up. Talk changes valleys. Stop speaking ownership over what you are walking through. Not my debt, my lack, my disaster, but the debt I am clearing, the bill I am paying, and the tight month I am passing. Words teach your brain where to camp and where to pass. Teach it to pass. Teach your children to pass. Do not let them name themselves by a season. We are a family that is learning. We are a family that pays what we owe. We are a family that asks for help without shame. We are a family that tells the truth. We are a family led by God. Those sentences build spines. Mercy belongs in valleys. Mercy for yourself, because hitting yourself with old labels does not move one stone. Mercy for others, because bitterness burns energy you need for building. Mercy does not mean you fund someone's chaos. Mercy means you release someone from your courtroom so you can leave the courthouse. When you feel the old anger rise, say, I refuse to spend 2 victories paying an old bill of rage. Then go do one right task. Right tasks are better therapy than long rants. Right tasks are bricks in your exit road. Teach your house the valley ritual. When a surprise hits, an invoice you forgot, a tool that breaks, a slow week, you do not shout and scramble. You call a 2-minute meeting at the table, you breathe together, you say, God is our source, channels come and go. And then you assign the next 2 actions. One action saves money today. One action makes money soon. Then you do them and return to ordinary life so fear does not make your house a siren. Children who see calm adults in a valley become calm adults in their own valleys. That is a generational gift worth more than any single payment. Set a small seed, even in tight times, but set it by guidance, not by guilt. A tiny guided gift breaks the ice over your river. It tells your insides, I still live in circulation, not in freeze. It may be a tip, a bag of groceries, a ride, a tool you share, a kind review for a small business that helps them be seen. Do not turn giving into a performance. Turn it into a quiet agreement with the law of circulation. As I am led, I give. As I give, flow returns. The point is not the amount. The point is to refuse the lie that you must clutch everything or you will die. You cannot drink with a fist. As you walk, keep a valley ledger of wins, not to brag, to build faith. Write down the exacts. We negotiated 50 off. We sold that thing for 60. We paid the utility on time. We cooked 5 dinners this week instead of buying them. We slept 7 hours and handled the call with grace. We asked for help and received it. We raised our price by 10% and the client stayed. We told the truth and were respected. The valley will try to show you only losses. Your ledger will show you the path of exits you are building. Little stones make roads. You are laying them. Do not let the valley hook you on drama. Drama is a kind of sugar for the nervous system. It spikes attention, makes the day feel important, and leaves you tired and unfed. Important does not always look like fireworks. Important looks like 3 invoices sent, 2 calls made, 1 plan kept, 1 walk taken, 1 room cleaned, 1 bill paid, 1 apology given, 1 nap taken. Important is small and faithful. Important does not post everything. Important builds a life you can live in after the valley is behind you. And hear this with your whole heart. The shepherd does not lead you into valleys to embarrass you. He leads you through valleys to strengthen you. Skills learned here become instincts later. You will price with dignity because you survived selling yourself short. You will save with joy because you tasted the pain of having no buffer. You will choose partners by peace because you live the cost of ignoring it. You will build products with real value because you needed real value when money was thin. You will teach your children in plain words how to walk because you walked. Seal your pace with decree and then take the step in front of you. Say this once with a steady tone and let it be enough. Yea, though I walk through this financial valley, I fear no evil. You are with me. Your rod corrects me, and your staff directs me. God is my source. Channels come and go. Divine substance meets this need now, under grace and in perfect ways. I cast the burden of panic to the Christ within. I go free. After you speak, pick one action and do it like a person who is passing through, not like a person who lives here. Email the plan. Return the item. Ask for the timeline. Cook the food. Sleep the hours. Walk the block. Breathe. Then choose the next step and the next until the light ahead stops looking far and starts feeling near. When you step out the other side, you will not only have provision, you will have pace. You will not only have numbers that work, you will have a name that opens doors. You will not only have a testimony, you will have tools. And you will know, deep in the place a child can understand, that valleys are corridors. God is. A shepherd, shadows are not teeth, and walking with him beats running without him every day of your life. Your enemies don't need to leave for you to be blessed. Read that again. The table God prepares is not a picnic after the battle, it is a banquet in the middle of it. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies means the shepherd does not wait for perfect conditions to feed, honor, and promote you. He sets the dishes while critics watch, while systems doubt, while old patterns hiss, and while inner fears try to speak. The menu is provision. The place card is your name, and the security is His presence. This is not bravado, this is Bible. It is not theory, it is law. When God prepares a table, you are not asked to chase chairs, argue with guests, or audition for a seat. You are asked to sit, receive, and eat. Let's make it simple enough for a 10-year-old. Picture a school cafeteria. Some kids whisper, some roll eyes, some try to crowd the line. The teacher walks to your table and places your tray right in front of you. Warm food, fresh drink, dessert you like. Do you stand and fight with the whisperers? Number, you sit, thank the teacher, and eat. That is the picture Psalm 23 gives. God does not hand you a sandwich in a hallway. He sets a table with care and says, sit, eat, I've got the room. Your job is not to police the cafeteria. Your job is to finish your meal and grow strong for class. Enemies are not always people. An enemy can be a system that underpays, a habit that leaks money, an inner voice that says you don't deserve good things, a record of mistakes tries to rename you, or a fear that flares every time you try to price your work with dignity. The prepared table is God's public answer to those voices. It is vindication without a speech. It is promotion without a fight. It is supply without apology. It is favor that lands where you can be seen, not to embarrass others, but to teach you that blessing does not need permission from the room. This table is prepared, not improvised. Prepared means measured portions, right plates, right timing, right seating. Delays often mean the table is still being set, not that you were forgotten. While you learned to budget, a seat was being reserved. While you corrected your contracts, the silverware was being rolled. While you chose integrity when shortcuts winked, your place card was being written. Prepared means thought out. God is not throwing snacks. He is arranging honor. When it arrives, it will fit you, feed you, and face the direction of your assignment. Do not confuse in the presence of enemies with in the grip of enemies. Their presence is allowed. Their power is not. The shepherd is the host. He is responsible for the room. This is why you don't need revenge to feel restored. Revenge drains the eater. Rest feeds the eater. People think, if I clap back hard enough, I will get my dignity back. But dignity returns when you recognize who seats you. A child does not argue with the audience when their parent stands and calls their name from the stage. They walk up and receive what was promised. You do not need to clap louder than critics. Let your chair scrape the floor as you sit. That sound is enough. Table manners matter in God's house, and they are different from the world's. The world says, prove yourself while you eat. Show them why you belong. Talk big. Flash bigger. The shepherd's manners are simple. Sit, bless, eat, and be kind to the room, even those who once doubted you. Sitting means you stop pacing to look impressive. Blessing means you acknowledge source before you tear into the bread. Eating means you fully receive. No flinching, no apologizing, no pushing the plate back because you feel unworthy. Kindness means you let God handle justice while you handle gratitude. Sitting looks like keeping your peace while the opportunity unfolds. If a door opens for you in a place that once rejected you, do not turn the door into a courtroom. Walk through and work. The prepared table is not a podium for petty speeches. It is a station for steady service. Blessing with your mouth looks like this. God is my source. I receive this under grace and in perfect ways. Eating looks like delivering with excellence, invoicing with clarity, honoring your deadlines, and enjoying the fruit without guilt. Kindness looks like paying fairly, tipping well, and refusing to make your success someone else's shame. The table is public on purpose. Visibility is part of the lesson. You are learning to be seen without shrinking or performing. Shrinking says, I don't belong here. Performing says, I'll pretend to be a bigger version of me so you won't question my seat. The shepherd wants neither. He wants you present. Present looks like eye contact, clear voice, clean boundaries, and work that speaks for itself. Present means you take the compliment, not dodge it. Present means you accept the check, not volunteer to cut your rate at the table because your old fear woke up. Present means you carry yourself as if God set you there, because He did. Some will struggle with your seat. That is not your assignment to fix. A small child can understand this. If the teacher says, you may sit here, and a classmate mumbles, the child does not move chairs. The child stays put because the teacher decides the chart. The shepherd decides the chart. If a person complains, bless them silently and let your results answer over time. Florence would say, praise is proof. Your gratitude and your output are louder than any defense speech you could make. Have you noticed the table uses the word before? You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Before means in front of, but it also means ahead of time. The table is prepared ahead of time for a moment in front of others. Both are true. God has been preparing opportunities that fit your gifts long before you felt ready. They show up where others can see because your story is meant to become a signpost, not a flex, a sign. A sign that says, God is source, integrity works, peace pays, law responds, speak once, seal it, walk on. When your table appears, it is an invitation to model a different way to prosper. Beware two table saboteurs, hunger, panic, and courtroom speeches. Hunger, panic eats too fast, says yes to everything, and signs anything. Courtroom speeches waste your seat, proving your right to be there. Hunger, panic is healed by trust. This is not my only meal. The shepherd feeds me daily. Courtroom speeches are healed by identity. My name card is not a fluke. It is a promise kept. Take small bites. Read what you sign. Choose projects that match your lane. Let some offers pass by. Not every dish is for you. You will be fed again. Practical table readiness starts before you sit. Keep your house and work table ready. That means documents organized, contracts clean, prices clear, bios and portfolios updated, bank accounts ready to receive, taxes in order, and a simple system to deliver on time. Prepared tables land best on prepared lives. This is not pressure, it's kindness to your future self. A child cleans a desk before a test, so pencils don't roll off the edge. Clean your desk. You are not earning the table. You are making room for it. Public favor will test your reactions. Old labels may rise to reclaim you. You always mess up. You don't deserve this. They will laugh when you fail. Lower your price so no one is upset. Those are not the shepherd's voice. Break agreement with them out loud. I break that lie. I agree with divine supply. I am led, worthy by calling, and paid in full for full value, under grace and in perfect ways. Then take one action that matches your new agreement. Deliver early. Speak your price with a calm tone. Ask for fair terms. Say no to a misaligned request without writing an essay. Every such act is table manners in motion. Do not weaponize your blessing. When the table appears, you are not called to dangle food in front of others or to starve ex-friends. You are called to eat, to share, as led, and to bless. Sharing as led is different from being pressured. Guided generosity multiplies. Guilt generosity breeds resentment. Ask, what part of this meal is seed? Maybe it is an employee bonus, a gift to someone who helped you years ago, a private scholarship for a kid, or an offering that seals your gratitude. Give quietly. Records in heaven are better than records on a feed. If you have longed for public vindication after private pain, hear this clearly. Your vindication will not taste like you imagined. It will be quieter, cleaner, and more satisfying, because it won't be laced with poison. The shepherd does not serve pride pie. He serves peace bread. You will find yourself smiling in meetings that used to scare you. You will hear your name spoken with respect in rooms that once ignored you. You will see help arrive without you, begging. You will feel no urge to clap back. That is the mark of a real table. Rest while you rise. Children need this picture too. Teach them table truth early. When a child does right and is rewarded in front of classmates, tell them, sit, smile, say thank you. Share a bit if you wish, but you don't have to throw your prize at bullies to prove you are kind. Enjoy what you earned. Let kindness be your answer, not drama. That training grows adults who can hold blessing without shaking. Sometimes the table will be set in the very place you were wounded. The workplace that downsized you calls you back as a consultant. The client who underpaid you hires you at your real rate. The city where you felt small becomes the city where your business thrives. Do not sabotage the moment with bitterness. Bitterness is a fork with bent prongs. It tears the food and pricks your own mouth. Forgive the room. Eat the meal. New terms, new boundaries, new dignity. Yes, old fights. No, you are not returning as a beggar. You are arriving as a guest of the host. How do you behave when gossip tries to eat beside you? You do not feed it. I wish them well. I'm focused on my assignment. How do you act when someone who hurt you asks for help? You check your peace and your capacity. If both say yes, help without reopening old chaos. If either says no, decline kindly. Boundaries are not unkind at tables. They are elegant. No, thank you. With a steady tone is a napkin over your lap. It keeps your clothes clean. Remember that the table often includes visibility that stretches introverts and humility that stretches extroverts. If you prefer shadows, you will learn to accept a spotlight long enough to say what is needed and then go back to work. If you love spotlights, you will learn to let the work be brighter than your words. Both are beautiful when led. Public favor is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully yourself without fear. Because we are in Florence's house, we seal this, not with noise, but with decree. Speak once like a person who knows the host, and then let your life agree. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I sit in peace. I eat in gratitude. I am honored without striving. God is my source. Channels obey the law. I refuse revenge. I choose rest. Public favor lands on me now, under grace and in perfect ways. After you speak, do one act of table readiness. Clean your portfolio, update your rates, set your delivery dates, iron your shirt, organize your files, rehearse your short introduction without apology. This is not theater. This is stewardship. If something in you trembles at honor, put your hand on your chest and use child-simple truth. I am not stealing this chair. The shepherd seated me. Then look at the plate he set and take your first bite. Expect interruptions. Bless them and keep chewing. Expect old noise. Lower its volume and keep chewing. Expect some eyes to watch. Ignore the glare and keep chewing. Your eating is your answer. Your delivery is your defense. Your peace is your proof. When you finish the meal, you do not clutch the silverware like a souvenir. You stand, thank the host, and go do good with the strength you just received. You return to your lane with more calm, more credibility, and more capacity to bless. And because this table came by covenant, not by clout, you do not fear the next room. The same shepherd who set this table will set the next one. You are not at the mercy of the crowd. You are at the mercy of grace. Hold the scene in your mind. A hall, a table, your name, the shepherd's hand. Critics mumble but can't move your chair. Old shame rattles but can't touch your plate. Fear knocks but the host is already at the door. You do not eat in a hurry. You eat in honor. You do not talk to prove. You talk to bless. You do not hoard. You steward. You do not apologize for being fed. You give thanks for being led. And by the time dessert arrives, you realize the strangest thing of all. You are no longer hungry for approval. You are full of provision. You are full of peace. And full people do not fight for crumbs. They bless the room and build the future, quietly, steadily, under grace and in perfect ways. If there is no oil, there is no overflow. That is the order. A lamp does not glow because it wishes. It glows because there is oil in it and a wick set right. Many people chase overflow like they are running after light while holding an empty lamp. They demand more money, more clients, more chances, while their inner lamp is dry. Psalm 23 says, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over." Notice the sequence. First the oil, then the overflow. The anointing is God's power, wisdom and favor placed on your life and work so supply can flow through you without friction. Overflow is the result of that power doing what it does, more than enough for your assignment with peace attached. Let me put this in language a 10-year-old can hold. Think of a bicycle chain. If the chain is dry, riding is hard and noisy, and you get tired. A little oil on the chain makes the same bike feel easy. You go farther with less effort. That oil did not create a new road. It made the parts move the way they were designed. God's anointing is like that. It is not a magic show. It is a holy oil that makes ideas, actions, and timing work together. You still pedal, you still steer, but the squeak stops, the grind eases, and distance becomes possible. The cup runs over because the parts can finally pour. Anointing is not a mood. It is not goosebumps. It is not a special personality. Anointing is a consecration. You set your life, your work, your money under God's government, and He marks it with His grace. Consecration sounds like plain sentences said with a clean heart. This business belongs to God. These hands are for honest work. This voice speaks truth. This money serves purpose. When you set your things apart like that, you make room for oil. Oil does not sit on dirty engines that refuse a tune-up. The shepherd anoints heads that are willing to be led. Oil brings wisdom first. Wisdom is the quiet voice that says, "This way," when three roads look the same. Wisdom shows up as an idea in a shower, a note in a meeting, a question in your mouth at the exact right time. Wisdom arranges your day so the important task gets done, while the loud but useless task waits its turn. Wisdom turns your price from guessing to exact, your contracts from messy to clear, your marketing from screams to signals. With wisdom, you stop throwing seed at the wind and start sowing into ground. Overflow is not luck. It is the law of divine supply finding a clean lane. Oil also brings skill, not tricks, skill. The anointing sharpens what you already do and stretches you to learn what you lack. It takes your voice and makes it precise. It takes your writing and makes it honest. It takes your cooking and makes it consistent. It takes your planning and makes it simple. Skill is love, made visible. People can feel when you cared enough to get good. God breathes on that care. Doors open for skill because skill serves. A child can see the difference between a sloppy sandwich and a neat one. Adults pay for the neat one because excellence feeds trust. Trust is a currency that multiplies money without noise. Oil protects. Shepherds in old times rubbed oil on sheep heads to keep flies from laying eggs that turned into painful pests. The image is vivid and kind. When God anoints you, small irritations lose power. The little offenses that used to steal a day now slide off. The temptation to undercharge because of an old fear does not stick as hard. The voice that said, "You do not belong here," gets slippery and can't find a grip. Protection saves money. Fights you never enter cost nothing. Contracts you never sign need no lawyer. Traps you walk around need no rescue. Overflow is not only about more coming in, it is also about less leaking out. Oil attracts, not because you become flashy, but because peace is rare and people are drawn to it. Calm workers get hired, clear invoices get paid, honest brands get referred. Doors that once required 3 knocks will open when you arrive with the quiet weight of someone who knows their source. You are not trying to charm. You are not hustling eyes. You are doing clean work with a steady tone, and the right people feel safe to say yes. That is attraction by alignment, not seduction by show. It is holy and it lasts. Someone will ask, "Can I be anointed for wealth?" Wealth here means enough to fulfill your purpose, to care for your household, to give as led, and to build what you are called to build, with margin and with peace. Yes, you can. But hear the order again. You do not chase overflow. You seek oil. You say, "Lord, I set my mind, my mouth, my time, and my money under your law. Mark it, guide it, use it." Then you live like you meant it. You tell the truth. You price with dignity. You give by guidance. You set boundaries. You steward details. You rest before strategy. You refuse shortcuts that bend your soul. You cast the burden of hurry and lack to the Christ within, and you walk free. Oil flows where order lives. Practical? Yes. In the morning, before you greet screens, greet the shepherd. Place a hand on your head and speak a simple consecration. You anoint my head with oil. Give me wisdom, skill, favor, and protection today, under grace and in perfect ways. God is my source. Channels obey the law. Then open your notebook and choose 3 actions that match that prayer. One that builds skill, one that moves money honestly, one that opens a channel or closes a leak. Do them with calm attention. The doing is not noise. It is devotion. Excellence is worship in work clothes. The anointing carries acceleration, but it does not erase process. Acceleration means time shrinks because wasted motion leaves. What took you 10 steps now takes 4 because you are not repeating yourself. What took other people 5 years can take you 1 because God connects you to a mentor that compresses your learning. What felt heavy becomes smooth because you are doing it the right way at the right time with the right people. Acceleration is not skipping, it is sinking. Overflow is not a lottery, it is the river moving at its proper speed. To live in overflow, you must also make room. A cup cannot run over if it is full of sand. Sand looks like old grudges, unpaid promises, unclean records, and cluttered systems. Clean the cup. Make a list of small repairs and keep them without drama. Send the apology and the corrected invoice. File the papers that are stealing your mornings. Close the subscriptions that drip your strength. Open a real account for taxes so tax season stops being a monster under the bed. These are not spiritual chores, and yet they are, because they honor the law that brings increase. God does not pour into chaos, He speaks to chaos first. Let there be light, and then pours life. Overflow is quiet confidence with margin. Margin is space to think, give, breathe. Without margin, you cannot say yes to a sudden opportunity because you are always at your limit. Margin is money and time you set aside on purpose. Anointing teaches you to leave room. You stop packing your calendar to prove you are valuable. You stop spending down to zero to prove you have faith. Faith is not recklessness. Faith is obedience with peace. With margin, a crisis becomes a curve, not a cliff. With margin, generosity becomes joy, not self-harm. Beware two errors that pretend to be holy. The first is greed dressed as vision. It always wants more with no purpose. It swallows rest, family, honesty, and health and calls it dedication. The second is fear dressed as humility. It refuses payment, avoids growth, and calls smallness a virtue while silently resenting those who grew. Oil exposes both. Oil asks, "What is this for?" If the answer is purpose, people, and glory to God, proceed. If the answer is ego or revenge, pause until your motives are washed. God is not against big, He is against empty. He fills what serves. Generosity under oil is guided, not guilted. You do not throw money at problems to feel powerful. You sow as led to create flow. Sometimes the seed is money. Sometimes the seed is time, a referral, a tool, a training, a hire. Give quietly. Where the Spirit says, now, say yes. Where the Spirit says, wait, wait. Law of circulation is not a slot machine. It is a river. Rivers have banks. Banks keep flow from becoming flood. Flood destroys. Flow nourishes. Children can learn this with allowance. A portion to give, a portion to save, a portion to spend. Adults forget and then remember. Because overflow includes protection, learn to say no without a speech. A clean no keeps your oil from being wasted. Not every room deserves your time. Not every deal fits your calling. Not every discount request is honest. Under oil, your number is kind and firm. That does not fit my scope. I cannot do that date. Here's the price. I wish you well. Then you move on without replaying the scene for 3 hours. Every spared hour adds to margin. Every guarded yes adds to strength. Overflow is made of many small guarded yeses. Children need a picture of overflow that is not just shiny. Teach them. Overflow is when the cup is full and still pouring so others drink. It looks like paid bills, food in the fridge, savings growing, surprises covered, and hands open to bless. It sounds like calm voices talking honestly about money without shame. It feels like sleeping well because you told the truth all day. It tastes like a dinner you didn't have to buy on a credit card. It smells like a house that is clean enough to host a friend. These are holy smells. God likes this kind of life. Anointing will also ask you to enlarge your container. If you want to hold more, you must be able to carry more. That means systems, simple ones, a folder for every client, a calendar with real deadlines, a weekly money hour where you review and choose, a clear offer that someone can understand without a phone call, a process for delivery so you are not reinventing the wheel each time. These are not boring. They are beautiful. They are how oil moves without spilling. A bakery without trays is a mess. A life without trays wastes blessing. Expect resistance as you shift. Old scarcity sentences will visit like stray cats looking for milk. You are asking too much. Don't be greedy. You're about to lose it all. Who do you think you are? You answer with law, not with long debates. I am asking what is fair. I give by guidance and I keep by grace. God is my source. I am safe. I am a steward with a clear assignment. Then you take one action that proves your answer. Send the fair invoice. Tithe as led. Decline the misaligned request. Work the plan instead of doom scrolling. Stray cats stop visiting when no bowls are out. Oil teaches language. You stop making jokes that curse your day. You stop saying, I'm broke, or money hates me, even in play. You start saying, divine supply is steady. I am learning fast. This is being handled. I think clearly about value. I am paid in full and on time. I manage increase with joy. You do not shout these 20 times to force the sky. You say them once to place your order, then you live like you trust the kitchen. Speak once, seal it, walk on. The law record's voice, not panic. Some will say, but I want a story like those big miracles. Hear me. Most big miracles are many small obediences stacked until everyone else calls it sudden. A cup does not run over from one drop. It runs over because drop after drop kept coming and you did not knock the cup over each time. Be faithful with drops. The shepherd loves to pour. He pours ideas, clients, skills, helpers, discounts, good timing, open schedules, closed temptations. He pours. Your job is to hold the cup with two hands. Stewardship, peace. Let's seal this with a practice you can repeat today. Before you start work, touch your head and say quietly, "You anoint my head with oil. Wisdom, skill, favor, and protection rest on me now, under grace and in perfect ways. God is my source. Channels obey the law." Open your notebook. Write 3 actions. Learn one thing. Do one revenue move. Make one system stronger. Do them without rush. When fear tries to hurry you, cast the burden. I cast the burden of hurry and lack to the Christ within. I go free. If a door opens that fits your lane, walk through. If a door opens that bends your soul, bless it and let it close. At day's end, give thanks for drops you saw and drops you missed that still worked. Gratitude is oil for tomorrow. Now speak the decree once, like placing a stone that the river will sing around. You anoint my head with oil, therefore my cup runs over. I am consecrated to right work, right pay, right timing, and right relationships. I carry wisdom, skill, favor, and protection. God is my source. Channels come and go. Divine substance flows to me and through me now. Under grace and in perfect ways, I cast the burden of scarcity. I receive overflow with peace. After you speak, do your next right task with a steady heart. Oil first, overflow next. That is the shepherd's order, and when you honor his order, your life begins to move with the quiet strength of a river that cannot be rushed, cannot be dammed, and cannot be drained, because its source does not run dry. Surely does not mean maybe. When Scripture says, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life," it is handing you a word that shuts the door on doubt. surely means this is settled. Goodness and mercy are not occasional visitors you must coax. They are assigned companions under covenant. In simple words, a child can keep. Goodness brings good things toward me. Mercy keeps bad things from sticking to me. And not on lucky days, on all my days. This is the daily atmosphere of a life led by the shepherd. It is not hype. It's not wishful thinking. It is the way divine supply behaves when you live under God as source and treat every other thing as a channel. Let's make this so clear. A 10-year-old nods. Imagine two helpful friends walking behind you everywhere. One carries gifts you didn't earn, discounts, ideas, favor, introductions, right place, right time moments. That friend is goodness. The second carries a big eraser, wipes away what should have hurt you, covers your mistakes with new chances, turns problems into lessons instead of labels. That friend is mercy. You do your honest best. Goodness adds. Mercy guards. Together, they make a safe path through a loud world. The promise says they follow, not you chase. You don't have to run after favor. Favor knows your route. You don't have to beg for a second chance. Mercy already packed it. This is why fear loses its authority when you understand covenant. Covenant means God bound himself by his word to provide, guide, correct, and protect you as you walk with him. The economy may sway, the market may shout, channels may open and close, but covenant is not seasonal. It is the roof over your life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever is not about a building you visit on Sunday. It is a way of living inside God's order every day. A house does 4 things. It shelters, it organizes, it stores, and it hosts. God's house shelters you from panic, organizes your steps by right order, stores supply for your needs and assignment, and hosts others through your generosity. When you live inside that house, you stop talking like a renter of luck and start moving like a resident of grace. Bring this into money so it is operational, not poetic. Goodness in finances looks like a client finding you without advertising because a friend spoke your name in a room you've never entered. It looks like a bill reduced because a kind agent found something in the system. It looks like an idea in the shower that trims a cost by half. It looks like a product selling out on the same day your car needed repairs. It looks like a refund check you forgot you were owed. Mercy in finances looks like a late fee, waived when you called early and told the truth. It looks like a bad contract you almost signed being delayed until you had time to read and walk away. It looks like a partner who would have drained you moving to another city before you met. It looks like a mistake. That could have sunk you turning into your best policy change. Goodness gives, mercy covers. Goodness adds, mercy edits. Under covenant, you get both. Children pick this up fast when you teach it in pictures. Tell them, when we do the right thing and still come up short, God's goodness supplies. When we do the wrong thing and own it, God's mercy restores. This does not make us careless. It makes us careful and fearless at the same time. We act with integrity because we love the shepherd, and we rest without dread because we trust his care. Fear says, you are on your own, better hustle or else. Covenant says, you are never alone. Do your part and expect follow-through from heaven. Follow me all the days is a call to daily expectation. Expectation is not entitlement. It is alignment. It is keeping your eyes open for the small kindnesses stacked into an ordinary morning. Train your sight. The decent parking spot on a busy day, the email answered faster than usual, the tool on sale exactly when you plan to buy, the childcare help arriving when your project is due, the creative fix that costs time instead of cash. the stranger who points you to the right window. People call these little things. Under covenant, they are normal things. Goodness and mercy make ordinary days smooth and extraordinary days possible. To live inside this promise, let your house have house rules. House rules are not cage bars. They are rhythms that keep peace in and waste out. In this house, we speak truth simply. We do not curse our own day with jokes that bleed us. I'm broke. Money hates me. Nothing ever works. We say, God is my source. Channels come and go. This bill has a plan. Divine order governs this decision, under grace and in perfect ways. In this house, we start from peace, then plan. We do not run at red lights because panic honked. We let the shepherd set green. In this house, we keep our word on small things so big doors trust us. We send the invoice on time. We say no without a speech. We correct errors quickly. We forgive quickly. We keep short accounts with people and with God. Make the promise practical with simple daily moves. In the morning before screens, put your hand on your chest and say, surely goodness and mercy follow me today. I live by covenant, not by chance. God is my source. Channels obey the law. I am led to right action now, under grace and in perfect ways. Then choose 3 actions that match that sentence. One that invites goodness, reach out to a client with value, not pressure. One that honors mercy, repair a mistake or pay a small overdue. And one that builds the house, organize a folder, set a reminder, tighten a system. At night, count goodness and mercy like you count stars. Write 3 lines in a small ledger. 1 mercy you saw, 1 good thing that found you, 1 step you took that kept you in the house. This trains your eyes and teaches the children near you to see the same. Dwell in the house of the Lord also means you stop building tents in other people's moods. Do not move your finances into the news cycle. Do not move your hope into a boss's face. Do not move your self-worth into a trending graph. You welcome information, you don't worship it. You receive correction, you don't collapse under it. The house is stronger than the weather. You may hang wind chimes to hear the breeze, but you do not remove the roof to feel relevant. Keep your roof. Under covenant, the roof is praise, the walls are integrity, the floor is stewardship, and the windows are generosity. Praise keeps your atmosphere warm. Integrity keeps your structure straight. Stewardship keeps your steps sound. Generosity keeps your view clear. Some worry that talking about goodness and mercy will make them soft or careless. The opposite is true. People who expect goodness plan better because they are building something goodness can land on. People who trust mercy confess faster because they do not fear being erased. Courage grows in a house where love is the light. You will raise your prices to rightful levels because goodness says you're not stealing. You are trading value for value. You will call the lender early because mercy says you're not doomed. You are arranging. You will try a new channel because covenant says the river is bigger than one pipe. Mercy keeps you from worshiping your past. Maybe you mishandled money. Maybe you signed a foolish lease. Maybe you gave out of guilt and starved your own bills. Mercy says, we're not pretending it didn't happen. We're insisting it won't name you. Repentance is not rolling in dirt. It is stepping into a clean lane. Say, I was wrong there. I choose right now. Then take one immediate right step. Cancel the drain, set the plan, write the email, close the tab. Mercy loves movement. It is happiest when it can push from behind while you walk forward. Goodness keeps you from worshiping your grind. The world applauds exhaustion like a trophy. Covenant applauds fruit without sorrow. The blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. No sorrow means you didn't have to sell your peace to buy the outcome. You worked, yes. You were diligent, yes. But you were not strangled by your schedule or enslaved by a story about proving yourself. Goodness multiplies honest work. It doesn't demand your soul as payment. If your success is choking your marriage, your health, your sleep, or your integrity, that isn't goodness. It's a deal with pressure. Step back into the house. In this house, rest comes before strategy, and the work still gets done. Teach children to expect goodness without entitlement and to receive mercy without excuses. You can say, "In our family, we do the right thing. When we miss it, we fix it." And all the while, God is kind to us. Give them a G and M game on car rides. Ask, "Where did goodness show up today?" They will say, "Grandma called," or "We found $5," or "I understood my homework," and you will smile because they are seeing the world as it is under covenant. Ask, "Where did mercy show up?" They may say, "The teacher gave me another day," or "The plate didn't break when I dropped it," or you may say, "I got grace at work." Their eyes will learn to look for friends following them instead of monsters chasing them. Forever matters here. Most people manage money with a short horizon, the day, the month, the quarter. Covenant stretches your timeline into legacy. Goodness and mercy follow you, and the trail they leave becomes a path your children can walk. When you choose integrity over shortcuts, you are paving a lane where your child's name rings with trust. When you tithe or give as led, you are teaching your bloodline that rivers flow through open hands. When you organize your affairs, you are telling tomorrow's you, "I love you," and tomorrow's you will answer with peace. Forever is not a cloud life. It is a long, steady, generational life where your yes to God today becomes someone else's ease in 20 years. Refuse the smallness of a scarcity identity. Scarcity says, if they win, you lose. But covenant says, there is enough for our lanes. Scarcity says, hide your price or they'll leave. But covenant says, speak your price with dignity and let right clients find you. Scarcity counts pennies with fear. Covenant counts seeds with wisdom. Scarcity hoards, covenant stores and distributes. Scarcity shouts, covenant sings. Scarcity is suspicious. Covenant is discerning. One lives in a tent in the wind, the other lives in a house on a rock. Guard your language so the house keeps its shape. Stop cementing worst-case stories with sentences that sound smart and die young. Replace them with simple law talk that moves reality. God is my source. Channels obey the law. I do the right thing in the right way at the right time. Divine substance meets this need now, under grace and in perfect ways. I cast the burden of fear to the Christ within. I go free. Say it once like a placement, not a chant. Then walk like your roof is real. The law records voice, not volume. Speak once, seal it, walk on. Because goodness and mercy follow, you can afford to be good and merciful. You can choose to pay fairly, to tip generously, to forgive small debts when led, to give people clean exits, to refrain from gossip, to bless those who move on, to help without posting it. This generosity is not performance. It is proof you believe the river isn't running dry. Your calm kindness in negotiations, your honest terms, your timely payments, your steady communication, all these are house manners that tell the world what family you belong to. And the world responds. It sends you people who prefer houses to tents, who prefer peace to drama, who prefer long-term to flash. That is goodness working. That is mercy keeping. If old fear sings at your door, do not invite it for tea. Do the small rituals that keep the house warm. A quiet morning decree, a real breakfast or a glass of water instead of caffeinated panic. A 5-minute money check done with breath, not with dread. A short walk without headphones so ideas can find you. A phone call returned, a foolish tab closed, a small seed given if led, a tidy desk so your future self doesn't start the day stumbling. These gentle acts are how you dwell, not how you visit. They cost little and pay you back every hour. And because this final word must be as strong as steel and as simple as a child's prayer, let us seal it the way Florence would, by decree that places your life under law. Speak this once, with a steady tone that tells heaven and your own mind you mean it. Surely goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. I live in covenant provision. God is my source. Channels come and go. I dwell in the house of the Lord, sheltered by peace, ordered by truth, supplied by grace, now and always. Divine substance meets every right need now, under grace and in perfect ways. I cast the burden of lack and fear to the Christ within. I go free. After you speak, let your actions agree. Do one house act, pay a small bill, organize a folder, send a thank you, price your work with dignity. Give as led, or rest for 20 minutes without apology. Then go about your day like a resident, not a refugee. Expect the knock you didn't schedule. Expect the ease you didn't manufacture. Expect the small rescues you couldn't have planned. When they come, and they will, call them by their names, goodness and mercy. Thank the host, share the bread, keep the roof, walk your road. And remember, not because I said it, but because the shepherd did. Surely is settled. Days means daily, and forever means you will never, not for 1 hour, have to live outside his house again.